I grew up in SEC country, obviously. Both my parents went to SEC schools, and my dad played football at Auburn. My mom did track at Mississippi State and kind of a couple other things there. But, for me, leaving the SEC was really tough. I wanted to go to Georgia. I wanted to go to Auburn. I wanted to go to those schools and, have that experience and, live the college football life where for 4 years you are a demigod walking around campus and doing all that. And that was really appealing to me for a long time. It was what I grew up in, the culture that I understood. But when I had the opportunity to come out to Stanford and take a visit here, I told this to somebody last week. I was actually on a visit at Notre Dame my junior fall, and Stanford hadn't even reached out to me or anything yet. And I misspoke. I was on a visit at Notre Dame my sophomore year, and Stanford hadn't reached out to me yet. And I was across the tunnel after Owen Marisic scored those back-to-back touchdowns on 2 different plays, and my dad was like, "We should go talk to those guys. Like, what do you think about Stanford?" And I was like, "Dad, there's no way I'd ever go to California. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why in the world would I go to school in California?" And so, fast forward, and my process with Stanford began, and I took a visit here, and I was walking around out in front of Memorial Church, and looked at my dad, and I was like, "I can go here? Like, I can go here? Like, how in the world is this an opportunity?" I'd never seen anything or heard anything like the opportunities at this place. And so it was a big thing for me, changing my perspective, getting myself out of SEC country and seeing the rest of the world and seeing there's so much more to life than football, but that great football can be played anywhere and competitively.
Turned you down the SEC offers?
Yeah, I did. I had a good bit of SEC offers, and I committed very early. I committed my junior, just after my junior year, but that was a very interesting process. I almost switched like the week before signing day back to Georgia. About gave Coach Bloom a heart attack. So I'm very, very glad I didn't do that. My parents weren't letting that happen anyway. So.
Yeah, but you're not a demigod here.
It's different. I mean, it's not that. I walk around campus. I'm so big sometimes. I feel like people kind of look at me, and I feel small compared to the rest of the guys on the team. But it's such a different culture, and I love that. I love that. My freshman dorm, for instance, the kids down the hall from me, one kid had just published some physics paper and made like $200,000 off some physics paper he published as an 18-year-old kid. One of my other buddies is going down in the Philippines and is doing crazy relief work where he's building on the site molds for people who don't have limbs. And he's building the prosthetics, like riding around in a truck with 2 other kids from here. And people who are going out and impacting the world and changing the world. And I'd so much rather be around them and be able to experience that than be at an SEC school where I'm the big deal. Like, why in the world should I be the big deal when there's people that are changing the world like that?
What do you want to do in your life after football?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure that out. That's a huge reason of why I came here, so that I would have all the options that I do. One of the biggest things that I try to rely on that I've always wanted to do is I want to impact and help people in whatever capacity that is. I feel like coming to Stanford is such a privilege, but it's also a responsibility. And we are being groomed and we are being prepared to go out into a world that has a lot of stuff going on and a lot of issues all over the place. And a lot of times we get so focused on football and this and that, and in season it's hard for me to pick my head up and check CNN's Twitter, let alone read an article about what's going on. But I really feel like I have an obligation almost to go out and do something special. So I have no idea what that is, but I really hope I get to figure that out soon.